Hi guys, it's Adria, and for today's story time video, I'm going to be telling you guys a story about when I was attacked by a dog as a kid. So you guys really wanted to hear about this once I mentioned it in my pet peeves video. You guys were like, yes, tell the story, so that is what I'm doing today. I'm going to tell that story. So I was maybe 10. That would only be my guess because I was in like the house I was born in. Well, I was born in a hospital, but I moved out of that house when I was in 4th grade, so I was no older than 9 or 10, I don't know. So my brother was on a roller hockey team, so he would want to practice, right? So he had a hockey net and we had rollerblades and hockey sticks and all that stuff, so he wanted to practice his roller hockey, so I would be his test subject, if you will. That's kind of relevant to the story. So we were outside, and our old neighborhood, we had our driveways and stuff, but then there was like a parking lot, I guess, for like extra cars, like guests and stuff like that, because it was like a townhouse community type thing, I don't know. So they had like extra parking because there wasn't like a lot of curb space, so my brother and I would play roller hockey in that little parking lot when it was empty. There was no cars in there. So my brother Zach and I are out playing roller hockey in that little parking lot one day, and then all of a sudden we see this big white dog come running toward us from the cul-de-sac. So it was like coming all the way down the street to the end of the street where we were. The dog just runs up to us, looks super happy, and we're just like, oh my gosh, a dog. So we're playing with the dog for a while, and we're just like, you know, with our hockey sticks, tossing our little hockey ball around, and he's chasing it, and we're just having fun with this dog because we didn't have a dog. We really wanted a dog, especially myself. Let me just say, I was the biggest dog lover. My mom took me to a dog show. All my stuffed animals, 90% of them were dogs. I loved dogs. I always got dog stuff for Christmas. I went through a phase of acting like a dog that I didn't break until I was probably like 11. So I really love dogs, so this was like heaven for me. This was a big dog, and I'm not sure exactly what breed he was. I'm guessing he would have been like a boxer pit bull. That's what we said at the time. Although that's the kind of dog my mom has now, and it doesn't really look the same. I don't know. It kind of looked Great Dane-like. It was just big and white, and it had a collar on it and everything. So then like some time passed, we had been playing with the dog, and then my mom eventually comes out and she's like saying like, you know, you guys have to take that dog back up the street because his address was on the tag. She's like, yeah, that's that house right on the corner right there. She's like, just walk him back up there, either knock on the door or just like put him in the backyard. And I was really sad because I wanted to keep this dog. I was like, mommy, can we keep him please? But she was like, he belongs to somebody, we can't keep him, no. So my brother took him back himself. I didn't go with him, so I don't really know what the encounter was like, but I was really bummed. I was just like, wow, okay. And I even remember I was like trapping myself in this thing. We had like this TV entertainment center type thing back when TVs weighed like 100 pounds, so you had to have a huge thing for your TV to fit in. I like climbed inside of the cabinet where like tapes could go and stuff like that, and I just like sat in there pretending to be like a caged dog, like just all sad, and I was very melodramatic. I was just like, this is so horrible. I'm a dog. Why was I doing that? Why was I pretending to be trapped in a cage? Anyway, so for whatever reason, my brother left. He went somewhere else. I don't know. My mom and I and my sisters were all still at the house. So it was later on in that same day that all of a sudden we could hear something at the door. So we look at the door, and it was just a clear glass door, and the dog was out there scratching at the door, and we're just like, what the heck? What happened? So the dog had come back, and now my brother wasn't here. So I was like, my mom said, Adria, walk the dog down the street. You know, he was scratching at the door, he was barking like he wanted to come inside. And I was like, can he come inside? She's like, no, take him home. So I went outside, and he was just very riled up, and I'm just like, okay. So, I mean, like he was excited earlier too, like when my brother and I were playing with him. So like it wasn't anything new, but he was just very like just full of energy. So, and this dog was as tall as I was, okay? Like I could have probably rode on this dog. So I go to walk the dog home, and I'm a little bit nervous because the dog is like very riled up. Earlier he was just, you know, like wagging his tail, and you know, we were throwing our hockey ball, and he was all excited and stuff, but now it seemed like he was a bit aggressive. Like it wasn't like a playful, like He seemed mad. So I go outside to take him home. I don't even think I like grabbed him by the collar or anything. I think I was just like, come on, come on. And like he was just following me. So as I'm walking down the street and just like calling him along, he just starts to get very aggressive. He starts pulling at my shoelaces, just biting at them, aggressively biting at them. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I've never had a dog before. I don't know how to get him off of me. So he pulled so hard. He pulled my feet out from under me. I hit the pavement and I'm just like screaming for my mom because this dog is just mauling my feet and I am terrified. I am terrified. And at this point, I'm all scraped up from hitting the ground. I hit the ground hard, girl. Let me just say, I'm glad I did not hit my head. This dog pulled my feet out from under me and he's growling and then he starts coming up toward my face and I'm just laying there crying, like shaking, like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm just like looking down the street toward where my house is, just screaming for help. Help me, someone, anybody! You know, one of those moments in like a movie where somebody's in distress and then all of a sudden the hero comes into the frame and it's just like the most epic thing you've ever seen and there's just like explosions behind them. That is how I saw my mom. I see her turn the corner from my house and I see her holding my brother's hockey stick in her hand. She is running and it almost looked like she was running in slow motion. That's how epic it looked. I was just like, yes, my mom is coming to save me. She is holding this hockey stick. She looked so angry. I had never seen my mom look that angry before. She was just like, oh hell nah. She sees this dog attacking me, growling, biting at me, trying to pull my shoes off, and I'm laying on the ground bleeding and she comes up to this dog and whacks him. And then she scoops the hockey stick under his collar, pulls him off of me, and then just goes walking down the street with him. I'm like, So she's like saying to me like, I'll be right back. I think I walked back to the house. I either walked back to my house or I just waited for my mom to come back. Either one. I think I just walked back. So I wasn't there for this because obviously my mom took the dog and I didn't go with her, but I later found out that once she got to the owner's house, that dog, as well as another dog in the house, he used for dog fighting. So this dog was trained to dog fight. How lovely. So if anybody was doubting the aggression of this dog, doubt no further. He was a dog fighting dog. He mauled me, he pulled my feet out from under me, hit the pavement. I was bleeding. I don't know if the dog like bit me and struck blood. I don't really remember all that. It was so crazy. If you've ever been in a situation like that, you probably know what I'm talking about, where everything is just happening super quick and it's chaotic and crazy and you don't know what's happening. So all I know is like my arms were covered in blood. I think that was probably from hitting the pavement. So this guy had like a dog fighting ring and he later then got arrested. I don't know if that had anything to do with, you know, my mom taking the dog back and discovering that his dogs were part of dog fighting. So how the dog got out was, in these townhomes, the backyard was a tiny little square of yard with a fence around it, and the fence was very short. Like, it wasn't intended for a dog to be back there. It was just kind of like, okay, this is your yard. He would just put the dogs outside and the bigger one would just be able to hop right over it. So my mom told me that she just yelled at him and was like, keep your dog under control, like, how dare you, your dog attacked my child. I was like, wait, what the heck? What? What? So my neighbor with dog fighting was in jail. I don't really know what else became of that story, to be honest. I don't know how long he was in jail or whatever. All I know is he was arrested, and I think that the dogs were taken away from him. Obviously, I mean, you have a dog fighting thing, but I just remember the dogs weren't there anymore. He wasn't there anymore either. Then when my mom came back from taking the dog back, she was just so flustered, like anyone would be, you know, some dog mauling your child down the street. So she was just, you know, cleaning me up. I remember sitting on my kitchen table and I was crying, and I remember it wasn't even like I was screaming crying at this point. I was like so sad it felt like something had been taken from me because I love dogs so much. And then I said to my mom, I don't want a dog anymore. When you really want something and then something like that happens where you're just faced with like the complete opposite of what you think, you know, like I just thought dogs were so great and so cute and sweet, and this was just such a hard moment for me as a child because it was like, oh, something that you've loved your whole life and always wanted suddenly turned on you and hurt you, and it's just like I didn't really know what to think. So I said to my mom, I don't want a dog anymore, and I was just all disappointed. I was just so heartbroken that this dog would hurt me. I didn't ever want to believe that a dog would hurt me. My mom's piece of motherly advice was not all dogs are like that. Because my best friend growing up, she had big dogs in her house and I loved them. And so my mom was like, well, so-and-so's dogs aren't like that. You know that. Not all dogs are like that dog. You know, that's just a good lesson to carry with you throughout anything, because if something bad happens like with a person, or in this case with a dog, it's like not everybody is painted with that same brush. Not all dogs are gonna attack you. Not all people are gonna hurt you. Not all things are gonna go the same way. So, I mean, it took me a little while, but I still loved and wanted a dog so bad. I was never even really like afraid of dogs. It was more like I distrusted dogs. I just like didn't want to be around them. But after being around my friends' dogs and all that kind of thing, I still kept my love for dogs. And I think it's important to not let a terrible experience affect your overall view of something. Like, just because one person does something doesn't mean every person is like that, or just because a dog does this doesn't mean every dog is like that. We did think that this dog was a boxer pit bull because of just how he looked, how big he was. The other dog that he had was like a purebred pit bull, so, you know, if he was a boxer pit bull, which I don't know 100% for sure, but if that's the case, you know, my mom has that kind of dog now, and he is the sweetest little love bug you would ever meet in your life, and I just love him. You know, I didn't let getting attacked by a dog and a dog hurting me, I didn't let that affect my love for dogs, because I do love dogs. I just get a little nervous when dogs aren't trained all that well, because, you know, not too long ago I did get chased by a dog on my bike and it was going for my feet again, and I'm just like, what is it with dogs and my feet? Do they smell like bacon? I don't know, but dogs seem to like my feet. So yeah, that is it for this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below if anything like this has ever happened to you. Have you ever been attacked by a dog? And if so, are you afraid of dogs, or do you love dogs like I do? And also be sure to subscribe if you're not already, because I put out videos 3 times a week, and I can definitely do more story times if you guys would like to hear them. I don't know, I feel like every single video I do could be a story time, because I just feel like my life is a chaotic tornado whirlwind of unfortunate events. We are very close to 100,000 subscribers, guys. We are at like 97,000. Like, holy crap, it is so close. We can do it. You can do it. Okay, it's not even in my hands, it's in yours. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and also you can subscribe to my new vlog channel down below. I have more vlogs coming. I know that channel has been a bit stagnant lately. I don't like that word. That makes me think of a lake. So yeah, I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Bye!